he's telling the other woman that he loved them literally the day before or 2 days before, and now he's like, I love you. How do you really trust that?
I was a people pleaser with my ex. Like,
I mean, I'm a firm believer, like, once a cheater, always a cheater. And I know that people change. We all make mistakes. I get that. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
And thank all of you guys for tuning in to the Rosé Girls. I'm drinking water because I drank way too much this past weekend. But we are so happy to be back. It's been a hot second.
it has.
And we thought today we could talk about when a guy, whether it's an ex or a friend, whatever, comes back into your life, what do? Do you take him back? Do you not? It's kind of a relevant topic. So we thought we could dive in and share our thoughts.
LJ, do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so my feelings on this is I kind of go back and forth. So I picture myself, say you dated someone, I don't know, a year ago, and then he wants to come back. So the only problems, and I've kind of dealt with this before, is depending on how long the relationship has been over, seeing someone, and especially if there was like relationship in between that, so say he started dating someone else, you started dating someone else, the insecurities of that other person is a big deal, I think, and that's hard in relationships, and that's hard to take someone back on knowing that someone else was in between.
Right.
So I don't know, but at the same time, if it's true love, you don't want to miss out on that love, because you believe in true love. But you need to be logical and rational with knowing that you're going to be insecure because you have that time away from each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. I think it depends on who the guy is, obviously, and if he's trustworthy enough, if he's going to be honest about what happened in between. Yeah. I think that's a big deal. And just a lot of communication is important dealing with that. It's a sticky situation.
Yeah. You know, I think that it depends on what caused you guys to break up. Like, did he cheat, or was it you guys just were at different, stages in your life? Like, I think it really depends on what drew you guys apart. And then just like you said, LJ, like the communication during that time apart, like I don't want to later find out that, he told me he was with X amount of girls when he was more, or whatever. Like, as long as you can really trust him, depending on the time or what caused you guys to break up, you have to listen to your heart. Like, you can't control love. And so if you really think that you love this person, then maybe give it a try. You never know. But I mean, me personally, I've never broke up with someone and gotten back together with that person. So I can't really speak from experience, but I'm just thinking, like, in my head, if an ex came back to me, depending on how our relationship was, I don't know, like, we gave it a try. Although my last ex-boyfriend, we ended things because we just lived different lifestyles and didn't kind of share the same values, like core values. However, a lot of the things that I told him when I broke up with him, he's been really working on it, and he's changed. So if he did get back together with me, or if he wanted to, I would recognize that, wow, he really made an effort to improve the areas that, we didn't see eye to eye in.
What you were lacking, right.
Right. So I think it all just really depends on your personal situation.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I totally agree with both of you ladies. But I'm like, you know me, I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's like, cool, you're fine. Even if
Yeah.
you can do like the worst thing to me, and I will probably forgive you, and I will probably take you back. And I did that time at the time with my ex. But like you said, if it's true love, or you think it's true love, it's hard to not go back. And now I feel like I'm in a situation where my ex and I are friends, and strictly friends, and I don't want to be with him again. So I think there's a difference between letting them back in as like a lover and
Yeah.
letting them back in just because they were such a huge part of your life. It's kind of hard to fully let go.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like my ex and I, we dated 3.5 years. We still talk pretty much every day, and we're really good friends. And it's because he was there in my life when I was going through a really challenging time after, the loss of my father. And he loves me, and he helped me grow, and I love him too, but just not the same.
Not in love, but
Right.
you love him. And that's, I think that you can let them back in, but in a way where you're not going to get hurt again.
Yes.
And I think you just have to be really strong in your core values and what you really want, and be that person to not settle. So I think that you can still let them in, but not in that way.
Right. But I think it's hard. Like, a lot of my friends are like, how are you and my ex still friends? Like, that's hard. And some people can do it, and some people are like, I need you out of my life, otherwise I might get those feelings again.
Definitely. I agree.
So on, like, coming off of that topic, so so would you guys rather be madly in love with someone, but then, like Josh, you were saying, you don't really share the same core values and you don't really see eye to eye on a lot of things? Or, like, when you think about the long term, would you rather have that person that, like, you love, right, but like maybe he doesn't meet the XYZ needs? Because I think in relationships, you kind of, I don't know, I think
you have to sacrifice some things.
Right.
Yeah, I do believe that there's someone, I mean, obviously you're not going to see eye to eye on everything, but for me, I have like 5 core values. It's like my family, friends, faith, finance, which means like driven, successful career, and fitness, meaning like their health. So as long as that person, kind of sees eye to eye in those 5 things that mean the most to me, I could see a future with them. But if not, those are things that I'm not really willing to give up or compromise too much. Like, I'm willing to help him or, support him in any way. But I think that there's some things that are like so important that you just like, no, I'm not going to give up this.
And I think those things are definitely things that I want in somebody else too, and I would not compromise.
Right.
I'm so happy y'all are saying that. Y'all need to write these things down, like write your core values down. I'm serious though. Like, that's so awesome that you guys have that, because there's so many times in my past, like my last relationship, I compromised on so much. And the more you compromise yourself, like, I started to chip away.
Yeah.
And it was painful.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Like, why the relationship was so pain. Like, why is it causing me so much pain? It was because I was compromising on, like you said, family and like faith. Like, that's like the core of who I am. And he was like, no, like, I'll think about it. And it just starts to chip away. Yeah. So I think with women, it's important. Make your list.
Yeah.
You said maybe it's not going to be 100% on every single one, but those values have to be met for the relationship to be sustainable. If not, you're going to start to lose yourself. And that's when things get painful. Take it from me.
And you know what? It's actually, so I have my 6 F's. I'll go through them again. Family, friends, faith, finance, career, fitness, and which one am I missing? Oh, and fun. Because
I was like, wait a minute, I think I know which one you're missing.
Yeah, and honestly, I like, those are my 6 core values. And whether it's relationship or even my career or any decision I make, as long as it doesn't, fall under those categories, I have to say no, or I realize like I shouldn't waste my time on that. And I think it's so important to realize what your values are, and every decision should be, helping improve those.
Absolutely.
And also, like, I don't want to be with someone who takes life too seriously. I want them to have fun.
Right. And I think if you say that at the beginning of a relationship, the man is going to respect you so much more. Like having that, like you guys to me are so strong for like, I'm not settling. These are my values and I'm not settling. Like that is so attractive.
Yeah.
So many girls, I think, and it came with me too. Like I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm a people pleaser. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I just, you know, quiet this, then maybe he'll see how great I am. And don't ever do that.
I think that some relationships make you see what you really want. And I mean, I was a people pleaser with my ex, like hands down would do anything. And like family is number one to me. I push my family away and you can't get that back, you know? And so I think that you can come out of those type of relationships and still kind of start over and make that list, like you said.
Yes,
and for your next relationship, you don't compromise.
Exactly. You learn through your past, and we've all been there, made mistakes, whatever, been with people probably a little bit longer than we should have, but you know, it's all life. It's learning.
I know. And my poor boyfriend now, I'm like such a drill sergeant because I'm like, okay, I could write a book on relationships. And so now I'm like, I'm not compromising on anything. So like, don't become a drill sergeant.
I love that.
As you're wearing
as I'm wearing my camo.
Yeah.
Right? I'm dressing the part for sure. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, okay, I don't know.
I have another topic too. Okay, so speaking of like, say your ex comes back, right? And speaking of like what just happened in the world.
Yeah.
So what if there's another
world?
In the world.
In the real world.
Right. Okay, so what happens if there's another woman involved, right? So like, you know that he broke up with another woman to be with you. Then how do you handle, because coming with that is, of course, you're going to compare yourself. Yeah. Of course, you're going to wonder about faithfulness. Like, how do you then deal with another woman kind of literally in the mix right after he asked you to get back?
I mean, I'm a firm believer, like once a cheater, always a cheater. And I know that people change. We all make mistakes. I get that. But you have to realize that, like in my mind, I'd like, why am I so different than the girl that he just broke?
Right. And are you going to change your mind again? Like that's what I worry about for the other girl, honestly. Is he going to change his mind again and then
go back?
And what is she left with? A broken heart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think, OG? How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I'm like so torn because I mean, like I've said, like my ex and I, we had a bad relationship and cheating was involved, and I went back, and because of true love, like love is blind. But I think that, and I agree with you, Jess, like I do think a cheater is a cheater. Mm-hmm. And I think if he would do that to somebody in if he does it in a harmful and like very upsetting, like, you know, way that was not really respectful, I think that he would do it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Or do it to me. So I think, again, if you learn from your past relationships, you won't do it again.
Yeah.
Or other people's relationships with him.
Yeah. I just would hate to be that girl.
Oh my God.
Like, I would hate it to happen to me. That's why I would never be that girl. Like, I would never, even in my head, like, I could never be with someone knowing that person is with someone else.
Right.
Like, right. I just couldn't. I would feel like I was you are doing a horrible thing, but, like, I couldn't get past that.
Well, and the fact that, like, if he's telling the other woman that he loved them literally the day before or 2 days before, and now he's like, I love you. How do you really trust that? Like,
yeah.
That's what, I don't know, that's what unsettles my heart about situations.
Do you think that you can love two people at once?
Yes.
I do. And that's why I am kind of like wish-washy about it, because I think that the person, I think that he was so torn, and he just made a decision that would please other people, to be honest. But I think that he cared for both of them so much. I still think he's an asshole, but
I agree. I don't think he's malicious. I don't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I just think that if somebody is so conflicted in that situation, you shouldn't do something that you might regret.
Yeah.
Because he had to have known he would probably regret it in a little way.
Yeah. But it's hard. Like, I do think that you can love two people at once. Like, us as human beings, we're actually not supposed to be with one person for the rest of our lives. So, I mean, I think that there is that person out there, and I think that we, like LJ, you're so fortunate to have found this, like, perfect human being who is like, you guys are so awesome together. And I do believe that there's that person out there for me. But at the same time, I'm going to always love people in my life. Like, I will probably always love my ex, because he helped me grow and he was there for me. So I do think that you can love multiple people.
Yes.
At once.
That's never going to go away. But that's like, honestly, that kind of, and that's why whenever I start dating someone, like when I started dating Joey, I wanted to know about his exes, and not in like, so I could compare myself or whatever. Cause I'm like, I want to know how you love. Like, I want to know about your last girlfriends, to just like know why you fell in love with them. And it kind of leads into the story of like, well, how you love me.
Right. Were his exes similar to you?
No.
See, I find that so crazy.
Well, I mean, looks wise, and this is what kind of sucks, because Joey was kind of like the Bachelor of Baton Rouge, like, and so girls that I'm meeting now, because I'm kind of new to the city too, like I went to college here, but I moved away and now I'm back, and so I'm really new to the city. And just like word on the street is what I'm hearing, like, Joey, he was like the Bachelor, like he only dates like these gorgeous women. And so I'm like, well, okay, like,
yeah,
it's like, what are you trying to say? Like, his ex-girlfriend was so pretty. And so of course it gets in your head, but like, and he was like, I think, and I'm saying this maybe in a cocky way, but I don't think he's ever had this caliber of relationship. He's never lived with a woman full on. Like, girlfriends are keys, but he's like, I've never lived with someone. So like, that makes me like really confident. And like,
I always think it's so interesting though, when like, even when you're dating a guy and you ask him about his exes, and when his exes are like polar opposite to you, it's like, okay, is he like, did those all just not work and he's like trying something new? Or like, what is it about me that he's like newly into?
Yeah.
Because none of his exes were anything like me.
Yeah, it definitely messes with your head for sure.
Yeah. But I'm like you, LJ. I always want not to, like you said, not to necessarily compare or like think bad about them, but I'm just curious to know about their dating past.
Yeah. And I think men clam up, like, why do you want to know? Because I ask a lot of questions. I mean, I'm a therapist, so of course I'm going to, like, get it out of you. I'm going to manipulate you any kind of way. He's like, why do you want to know all these things? I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, ask me questions. Like, ask me about my past. And it just, it's the makeup of who we are. I feel like we're all going to tell a story one day. Like, when we get to heaven, it's like, what's your story? And it's not about, like, this heartache or that sadness, but it's making us who we are. And that's what I want women to just like embrace the unknown. And heartache sucks and rejection sucks, but like, this is a part of your story.
Yeah. And you know what's so cool is that we're all writing our own story. Like, yes, if you're a believer or whatever, but I do think that you get to write your own story, and we all get to end each chapter with an exclamation mark. Or a period, but end it with an exclamation mark. And I just think that it's so interesting that we go through these new chapters, and we have, we can be down, but we can also choose to be happy and learn and see things kind of on, half the glass half full.
Glass half full.
Cheers to that.
I know. Cheers to that. That's beautiful. I love that.
Well, ladies, I loved chatting with you.
No, this was so
Same.
good.
I want to know if you guys are watching, what do you guys think? If you had an ex come back to you, would you take him back? And also, do you think that you actually can love two people at once? I'm really curious to know.
Yes, let us know.
Let us know. And I want to really close with this too, and with what happened in the world. I just feel like everyone is deserving of so much love, and I know the girls that were involved are probably getting heat on both sides, or people are judging. But I think at the end of the day, and especially as women, we have to support other women. And I don't think these women, the other woman, meant to hurt anyone. I just don't.
Yeah.
Right? I don't. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I think it all worked out how it was supposed to, because they're both gonna find love, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
And for us too.
I do think it all worked out for a reason.
I do too.
Most definitely.
So
just like us, we left night one so that we could love each other, the Rosé girls.
Oh, yes. We got the best rose ever.
Yes, we did.
All right, well, cheers, ladies. We will see you all next week on the next video of the Rosé girls.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.